Hey y'all, it's Elizabeth Weimiller, and it is a new month, which means new sign predictions, new insights about what the planets are doing, what that can mean for us, and what is going on. So just kind of hold on to your hats. There's a lot going on this month. We've got many things happening, including Mercury going retrograde, everybody's favorite time. Yes, I am being a little sarcastic, but for some of us, Mercury retrograde can actually be beneficial. So we'll get into that. There's other conjunctions going on. Not Mercury, Jupiter and Mars are going to be conjunct in Taurus. For those of you that have not watched before, I use sidereal Vedic astrology. So if you are hearing from Western that Jupiter's in Gemini, that's why I say Jupiter's in Taurus, is because I use a different system and a different calculation. So just know that. I use the sidereal calculation for the planets. So yeah, let's jump on in and see what August has in store. As I said, hang on to your hats. There's a lot going on. August has a lot of potential and a lot of transits impacting us. And it's just really a month that can be high energy, can be increased chaos, increased conflicts, potential for disputes. But it also gives us the potential for kind of like with all this going on. And as I mentioned, the Mercury retrograde, there's potential for a little whiplash going on because Saturn already has been retrograde for a month. So we're kind of feeling some of that, which can bring delays and setbacks in the area where it's sitting. So yeah, just put your patience pants on, take a deep breath, stay grounded. Yoga works for you, do some yoga. If walking works for you, if meditation, figure out what works for you, use it to stay grounded, recognize people maybe at a whole new level, whether it be at work, in your personal life. But we'll get into that. So let me start with Mercury retrograde because I know everybody always wants to know, when is Mercury retrograde? What's it going to do this time? Yes, Mercury will be going retrograde on August 5th. Technically, it's August 4th at like 11:30 p.m. So we're just going to call it August 5th. And I'm based on the East Coast of the United States. So it's all in Eastern time for me. But it's going to go retrograde at 10 degrees of Leo, and it will be retrograde until August 28th, where it will station at 27 degrees of Cancer to turn direct. Now, Mercury is going to re-enter Cancer on August 21st. So that's one thing to keep in mind, which we're going to talk about in a couple minutes, is that Mercury will have crossed over that powerful point between a water sign of Cancer and a fire sign Leo 3 times, because that's called the Gandanta. And that's just, it's an emotional knot. A lot can happen in that little area of the zodiac. So yes, we're getting 3 hits because of Mercury going through there 3 different times. And it adds, it adds emotion. People can be more sensitive. They can be, it can be more extremes in weather, including the ability to wreak havoc on travel, hurricanes, earthquakes, all sorts of potential for it to just be a lot. So really keep that in mind. The dates that Mercury will move through the Gandanta are August 9th. Well, it already did it once, which was July 18th to 20th. Might sound familiar. That is when we had the huge issue with all the Microsoft computers going down at airlines and companies because of CrowdStrike and that issue. So just know that's a sensitive area this year with that Mercury retrograde. But the next 2 times it's going to go through the Gandanta are August 19th to 23rd, and again September 2nd to September 6th. If you're in the US, September 2nd to 6th is right around Labor Day. So just know, use patience if you have travel plans. They may not go quite as planned at that point because of Mercury crossing through the Gandanta for the final time after it finally turned direct. Now, as always, with Mercury retrograde, it is really a time to step back. It's a time to reflect. It's a time to reevaluate your life and assess, is it headed in the direction that you want? If not, great time to kind of reset, reorganize, reimagine. A lot of RE words, so you can kind of see what any retrograde is really about, is those RE words, but especially this Mercury retrograde. one of the things with Mercury retrogrades is there's always that issue for miscommunications, for delays, for travel issues and technology issues. So before August, I would say before August 4th, make sure your computers are backed up, make sure they're staying backed up, laptops, computers, make sure softwares are up to date. I wouldn't necessarily update any softwares during Mercury retrograde, or there could be potential for some issues, so keep that in mind. If you don't update before it starts, you may be waiting until the end. I mean, you may want to wait till the end of August so you don't have an issue. Because of where Mercury is stationing, remember I mentioned it's stationing in the sign of Leo. This is the sign of leaders. And this retrograde could really be a stressful time for world leaders. They could see setbacks, and we could see changes in leadership during this time. One of the key things to also remember is this, really a time not to begin new ventures. Don't sign new contracts. If you do, just know things could go a little funky, and really get multiple eyes on them, on the contracts, and make sure that everything is in agreement, all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed, and that there's not going to be any issues there. Old things from the past could show up during retrograde. Now, it can happen during any retrogrades. It can happen during Mars retrograde. It can happen during Venus retrograde. It can happen during Mercury retrograde. I've seen it happen in my life under retrogrades where, for example, someone from the past comes back, or a situation from the past comes back, and you kind of got to work through it, analyze it, see if it's something that should stay in your life, or if this is the time to really close it out and move on. And again, I have seen this happen in my own life multiple times with retrogrades. And it's like the day a planet turns retrograde, somebody will reach out. And it's like, oh, I haven't heard from you in like a year, thought it was done and over, and they show back up. Doesn't always happen for everybody, but I'm just saying, be aware of situations that have come back from your past and people that come back from your past, and assess if this is the time to really close that out and move on. Now, Mercury retrograde can be really beneficial for those with their ascendant or moon in Virgo or Gemini, because Mercury is a ruling planet for you. So it can actually be a powerful time. One of the things I want to really suggest you do during this Mercury retrograde is really tap into your inner self, your inner knowing, your heart, we'll call it your heart brain, because there have been studies shown that the heart has gray matter and can think for itself. So just tap into your heart and your intuition and listen to what it's telling you, because during this Mercury retrograde, you're going to have a better sense. You're going to be more easily able to listen. You're going to be able to get more messages from it. Tapping into your unconscious mind, you're going to have this ability to solve problems in a new way. So just really, meditation can be great. Sitting and just staring out the window at the clouds or planes or the trees or whatever to get those ideas flowing. You'll be amazed at what comes up. So just know Mercury retrograde, August 5th through 28th. Use patience. Know it could have its ups and downs. I just want to kind of reiterate what I talked about the end of July. Venus did enter Leo on July 31st. This can be a transit for those who are single, where you could, it could bring the desire to find a partner, but it's also a time to be cautious to not fall in love too quickly. For those in relationships, it can be a really good time to like re-spark that fire and kind of start dating your partner again if you've kind of just gotten into a routine and a rut. Venus and Leo does make us more aware of our own needs as well as the needs of our partner if you are in a relationship. And this transit can bring out kind of the self-centered side of individuals, as Venus in Leo can be more self-centered in their approach. I've seen this in charts as well. Some of the people don't want to admit it, but I have seen it. They're much more focused on their needs and what they need. So just know this is a time where we could see more individuals, especially those in relationships, kind of being self-centered. If you have this natally, as I said, Venus and Leo, if you have it natally, I'm just going to say it and be honest. You can be more self-centered in relationships, so you need to watch that. August 4th, we have a new moon at 18 degrees of Cancer. This is in the lunar mansion of Ashleisha. This is going to bring more motivation, a desire to get things done. It can also bring a bit of loneliness, but unless your chart says otherwise, which is a big thing, I always talk about your personal chart and what it says, the feeling's going to pass. Now, if your moon's in Astrolatia in your natal chart, you may constantly have times where you feel lonely. So this is where those individual readings are very powerful. There's a link below too if you would like a consultation. This new moon, it's really a time to focus on solving problems and self-improvement. Because it's in Astralasia, which is in the sign of Cancer, there could be heightened emotions. We could see a lot of changes that we kind of like look back on and see as turning points for us. So just know this can be a powerful new moon. August 7th and 8th, Mercury and Venus are going to be conjunct about 10 degrees of Leo. Date should sound familiar because that's about the time Mercury is stationing or is stationed. So it's just sitting there. Because it's a Mercury retrograde conjunct Venus, this could absolutely bring back a relationship from the past if you're single. Or if you're not, somebody may show up from your past that you're like, what is going on and why are they reaching out to me? It doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship. It could be ex-friendships, things like that. But just usually it's going to be romantic because it's Venus. So just know things can get a little weird. But this is also a time with Mercury retrograde conjunct Venus that it can be a great time to reassess, assess your relationship. Is there something that needs to change? Is there a conversation y'all need to have? Now, maybe don't do it during Mercury retrograde because of the potential for miscommunication, but kind of keep it in the back of your mind. The only person that's going to know the right answer for you is you. So take the time to listen to your inner self. I do love Mercury and Venus conjunct because it can bring a couple days of fun and a time where there's just more imagination and more creativity. August 14th, this is another big date. So write it on the calendar. Keep an eye on it a couple days before, a couple days after, but the date of exact conjunction is August 14th. Mars and Jupiter will be conjunct at 22 degrees of Taurus. On the positive, this can bring passion, it can bring confidence, it can bring intelligence. Jupiter is going to expand Mars energy. Now, Jupiter and Mars are not friends. They don't get along well. They're kind of opposite. Very much just a time to watch your investments, watch your finances. Don't necessarily recommend any expansive investment ideas. Making those jumps under this transit is one thing I will say with this transit. But it can be really a transit that for anybody with their ascendant or their moon in Aries, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Pisces, so those are Mars ruled and Jupiter ruled signs, it can be a positive transit for y'all. So just know this Jupiter and Mars conjunction at 22 degrees Taurus can bring things. Now, as with any transit, there's potential strengths and there's going to be areas to watch. So the flip side, the areas to watch is that passions may run a little too hot, turning into conflicts, and we could see kind of more economic and political chaos. So I know as I'm doing this, the big thing all over the news is the Venezuelan elections. I would say the turmoil there around this and the political turmoil is just the start, and we'll see more as we move towards that August 14th date. One of the things to remember is that Jupiter and Mars are in the same sign already. They just don't hit that exact point of conjunction until August 14th. So they're already kind of interacting together. August 16th, the sun, the lovely sun, is going to make its yearly transit into Leo, where it will transit until September 16th. The sun rules Leo. It's at home here. This is always a really impactful transit for all the signs. It can be a time of creativity. You can find you're more ambitious. You may find that your body is craving that rejuvenation and it may seek it out naturally or call you to activities that will give you that time to reset. And this transit can be really great for spirituality and leadership. August 19th, we have a full moon. It's a super moon. We're just going to throw that in there at 3 degrees of Aquarius in the lunar mansion of Dhanishta. This can bring a time of healing and wisdom with the supermoon. It does, with it being a supermoon, it does mean increased lunar influence, including seismic events, storms, emotional intensity, and events that may kind of shock us that we didn't see coming. The moon is, this is in Aquarius, as I mentioned. It's a full moon in Aquarius. Saturn is in Aquarius right now. Saturn rules Aquarius. So with the moon there, the moon does not get along with Saturn. It's totally different. Saturn's very logical, straightforward. Moon is much more emotional. Could see your mood come down a little bit. It's going to be important not to get sucked into negative self-talk around this moon. And you may find that some people get more argumentative around this time. So it's going to be just really important to ensure you're listening to others when in conversations and not just half listening or like nodding in agreement and being like, I have no clue what they said. Don't do that. Just listen, truly listen. August 24th, Venus is going to transit into the area of the zodiac where it is weakest. It's going to enter Virgo on August 24th. This is a time when you need to work 3 times harder for the energy of Venus. It's not that it's like all hell's going to break loose. No, you just have to work much harder for that Venus energy. So know that it can be a time when you feel more physically or emotionally drained. One of the big things to really be mindful of with the transit of Venus in Virgo is that you can be more overly critical. You can be more negative in your thinking. For those of you that have Venus in Virgo in your natal chart, you know what I mean about that overly critical, because you're already having to work on that in life in general, especially in relationships. You can be overly critical in relationships, but that can play out in a lot of places in life. For those that don't have this in your birth chart, this Venus in Virgo may suddenly, your partner may seem more picky or nitpicky. Really focus in on this. Don't try not to take anything personal during this time. Luckily, it is a shorter transit. It will exit Virgo on September 18th. But it's a transit where everyone's going to benefit from being mindful and trying to give your partner and yourself more grace, because that overcritical, it can be overly critical of yourself. So one of the things that people with Venus and Virgo natally face is they can be so hard on themselves. They will be their own worst critics. And so it's just something to be mindful of. If you're not used to that energy, just know it could feel very unsettling. August 26th, Mars is going to transit into Gemini. Now, Mars will be in Gemini until October 20th. That being said, Mars will be going retrograde this year in December. It's going to retrograde, or it's going to move. So October 20th, it will transit into Cancer. It's then, because of retrograde, going to transit back into Gemini on January 21st of 2025, and it will be in Gemini until April 2nd of 2025. So whatever happens, watch these 6 weeks where from August 26th to October 20th, when Mars is in Gemini, because whatever events happen now, or if there's delays or setbacks or anything happens with that Mars energy, it will come back to the forefront again in January, February, March, April. Guaranteed. It's going to happen. That is how these retrogrades work. So this is really critical time, because Gemini is a Mercury ruled sign, and Mars and Mercury don't get along. The combination can lead to more aggressive communication. It can lead to verbal sparring. You really are going to have to watch your words at home, at work, depending on what house this is. The transit of Mars can be good. So for example, if Mars is transiting your 10th house, so that would be Virgo moon or ascendant, you can have more ambition. You can get a lot more done at work, but you're still going to have to watch that communication. You're going to have to make sure you're not biting employees' heads off, your boss's heads off. Just really keep an eye on that. Now, I don't often talk about this, but it is something to keep in mind just for the US. And I know I have people that aren't US too, but I know the US chart because that's where I'm based. Gemini is the 7th house of the United States chart, which, with Mars spending so much time in there, could bring more magnified or intensified conflicts with other countries. We're just going to throw that there. We're already seeing some starts and some rumblings, but no, it could get worse before it gets better. Some of the positives of Mars and Gemini is it can be very scientific, it can be strategic, it can be analytical. Again, on the flip side, people can be more impatient. So watch driving. I can guarantee from August 26th to October 20th, the driving is going to get worse. We may see more accidents. A lot could be going on. And then from January 21st, 2025 until April 2nd, 2025, we could also see that uptick in driving issues and aggressiveness. There can be a restlessness and easily angered or irritated, as well as like an increased anxiety under this transit. So just know with Mars retrograde, it's going to be very important to get exercise in and get that anger out in other places that aren't at people. And this can be anger worldwide because it's Gemini and Mars and Gemini in general. So that's high level August, what's going on. Let's look at the potential impacts based on the signs. Remember, you're going to look at your ascendant or your moon. I say both because it does give you more insight. So Aries, you have the potential to be more direct this month, which is going to really, it's going to bring with it a need to watch what you say. Being more direct can be beneficial, but it could also, get you into trouble. Yeah. So hold on. Nope, just kidding. We're going to, yes, Aries. Sorry, losing my mind. It's fine. It's cool. We're headed into Mercury retrograde. We're already in the shower. So Aries, we're just going to start over. Aries, you're going to be more direct this month. It's going to bring with it the need to watch what you say. Being more direct can be beneficial, but it can also get you in a little bit of trouble if you don't take the time to think through what you're saying, as well as who your audience is. So one of the other things to keep in mind, Aries, is you can be more impulsive with your spending. So just be mindful, stick to your budget, know your budget, check in with your budget at the start of the month. It is a really great month to learn new information, take a short course, and it's really going to be important to take the time to sit down and enjoy your meals in order to avoid digestive upsets. Taurus, you will have more ambition and energy to accomplish your goals and to tackle things on your to-do list. So kind of use that, anything that's been hanging over your head, use this time to tackle it, get it done, work it through, so you get it off your list. You're going to have this ability to really complete unfinished projects more efficiently. Just use this planetary energy to your favor. That's what I say. Use the planetary energy to your favor. Why wouldn't you want to do that if it can make it easier for you and you're not feeling like you're running into a brick wall? While you're able to do things more quickly, Taurus, be aware that you can be a little more accident prone. So just be mindful, pace yourself so you don't get burned out this month. Make sure you're getting sleep. Make sure you are taking a little rest and relaxation time. Also for you, it is going to be very important to watch your temper. Take a breath before reacting in impulse. This can include counting to 10 or taking the night to sleep on it. Gemini, make sure that you keep your home protected this month. Double check that all the doors are locked, windows are closed before leaving the house. Again, this isn't to scare you. This is just the potential energy of these planets. It can be a good month for you to pay ahead on your credit cards to get out in front of any potential debt. Take the time to look over your finances and reassess your budget as needed. This is especially important if you had not checked in on those finances in a while. So some of us just don't pay attention. Check in, reset, reassess, reset, and do those things. You may find that your sleep is more disturbed this month, leaving you waking up and feeling more tired. Rest assured, this is a passing influence unless your natal chart says otherwise. At the office, it's going to be really important to be careful who you share confidences with, as it may be used to stab you in the back later. So keep that in mind. Cancer, this month you can see your cash flow increase as opportunities present themselves to you as you need to, as you want to get out and socialize with your friends and family and do fun things. It's going to be important to watch your back, as there could be people this month that pretend to be your friend that do not have your best interests at heart. Avoid get rich quick schemes. Someone's going to get rich. It won't be you. It's just don't do it this month. The energy's not in your favor. Don't loan any money to friends unless you're truly okay. It's not going to be a loan. It's going to be a gift. You won't see it again. You won't get repaid. So just be sure you're okay with that. Leo, this is a really good month to promote yourself. It's going to be making it known about the projects you've accomplished at work or the projects you are working on. Take action this month. Don't overthink decisions to the point of missing out on opportunities. It's going to be important to remember to respect your boss, and it can be a good month to consider your career path and what you see as next steps. Make a plan and start implementing it. If you are considering asking for a promotion, be sure to gauge your employer's reactions before making demands. Just don't go on making demands and threaten and be like, I have all these job offers that are going to pay me this if you don't, just to get the money, because it's not going to work. It's going to blow up in your face. Virgo, this is going to be a lucky month for you. You will feel more inspired, but at the same time, you will feel you can't always trust your inner knowing. It's going to be really important to remember to trust your heart and your gut. It is a month to break links to those who are controlling you or trying to control you and tell you how to live your life. Make sure you're living the life you want to live. Again, with Mercury retrograde, you can reassess, you can reset, you can rethink, you can reorganize. Authority figures Authority figures will come across as demanding your attention and respect, but be aware their motivations may be unclear or hidden. Also, big month, try not to get in any fights with your boss or father this month, as the outcome will not be favorable. Libra, support can come quickly this month, whether it be help from others or in the form of money. Your curiosity about a topic may lead you to dig deeper and learn more. Your mind is full of ideas and insights. Really be sure to write them down and not let them pass you by. You're going to feel more worried and vulnerable during the month, but this will pass unless your natal chart says otherwise. Again, link below if you need a personal consultation. But really just stay focused. Check in on, your health, as health issues could surface this month for you, Libra, and it's good to catch them early. This can be a good month to do a cleanse or a detox, but get your doctor's insight. Don't just do stuff crazy. Scorpio, passions will be higher between you and your partner during this month, whether it be marriage or business. Be mindful that if it feels like your partner is attacking your character, that you let them release that steam, as they're likely projecting anger at others on you. It's going to be important to remain calm, cool, and collected to allow for a favorable outcome for you. Focus on projects that can be completed quickly this month, because you're going to have a lot of energy and extra ability to do so, and pay extra attention to the detail of contracts and agreements that you're assigning this month. Now, I probably, with Mercury retrograde mixed in, would not recommend doing any contracts and agreements if you can avoid them this month. So yeah, keep that in mind. Sagittarius, take the initiative to improve yourself and your skills. There can be more tension and aggression at work, leaving you feeling uncomfortable. This is a good month to begin that exercise regime that you've been talking about. It's also going to help you release any tension building up within you. You could be more prone to overheating or getting sick with fevers. Just be mindful to put your health first. And you could find that if you have pets, that health problems with them creep up and are more costly this month. Capricorn, make time to have fun this month. So get out. It can be playing with your kids. It can be doing something fun. It can be getting together with friends. It can be, going tubing down a river, whatever comes to mind. You may find for you that inspiration can come from unexpected places or even completely out of the blue. You're going to feel that you have a clearer vision during this period, and it's just really important this month to show your passion. However, don't make any rash decisions. Take the time to cool down and sleep on them. It can be worth the time to write a pros and cons list so that you can visually evaluate those decisions. Aquarius, this can be a great month to make sure that your home has a positive flow of energy and that there is nothing that is stagnating that energy. It will be important to maintain your responsibilities to family, work, and any education you may be doing. And there can be tension around your home with arguments and disagreements. Step back, wait until the tensions have calmed before having the conversation. Get your car checked out to avoid any expensive problems later, and be cautious while driving. Just especially added in with everything else going in this month. This is especially important, Aquarius. Pisces, this can be a really great month to start working on your physical strength, because your physical strength is going to be higher. It's Great month to let your inner child out, let them play, enjoy the most of life. Use this time to express yourself through music, dance, writing, art, or athletics. You don't have to be great. I always say you can sing in the shower, you can dance in your kitchen, don't get hurt, but like you can do, you don't have to go to like out in public and do it if you don't want to. It's going to be really important to stay calm during your communications, be that voice of calm and reason, but don't hog attention. If you have siblings, Pisces, don't pick fights with them this month. And then it can also be a really great month to focus on selling and self-promotion. Now, that is August. I apologize for my little total brain pinch off, and I have an itch. Total brain pinch off in the middle. I'm human. What do you expect from me? So I hope August is an empowering month. I hope you stay grounded. I hope you take everything and you live your life, but you use caution at those times that we need to use extra caution. You know, you have free will, you have choice. And again, our own natal charts play out. So if you haven't done a personal birth chart consultation, I will put a link below. And if you're not signed up for the newsletter, I'd sign up below for that too, because I'm going to start doing my Who's in the News again, and I'm not necessarily going to do videos for them initially. So if you want Who's in the News, you can head on over to the website. I'm posting one for this month as well. That's only going to go out to my newsletter people. So head to the blog, check it out. I mean, it'll go on my blog too, but I'm not doing a video. So head over, see what you see, and I will see all of you in September. And I hope everyone has a wonderful August.